welcome to another video. I think I want this one, and maybe also make sure I get the right thing, this one. So yeah, maybe I'll continue on and look at this shell that I've been kind of working on. So this one's talking about multiple completions. So previously we had been looking at completions, and I think I did it in a kind of interesting way. But I don't know. This also needs like a notion on whether you are completing for the first time, the second time, or the second time. That's what I meant to say. So, what I can do here is perhaps I didn't want to do that one. How do we get back? I thought it was that, so that wasn't quite. Anyhow, what was I trying to do? I wanted to just get a bit more space, really. So, in this do completion, which we have here, we kind of have this situation where if we have too many, it will print out all the ones that we have, and then we'll kind of do that completion with many options. So I think we'll have multiple levels of kind of unimplemented layers. So I guess what I can do is maybe see what it kind of does. So if I do like an EC, there's two options there. So there's like a interesting thing that I might want to do. So like if I did E, what's a good place to? Yeah, so like if I did even, if I tab the first time, it will go to the lowest shortest common prefix of I guess the set of completions that are there. Is that kind of what I'm trying to think of? So yeah, this is when there are more than one completions, and so like how do we call this? We generate all the possible matches that there could be in various situations, and we pass in matches, and then this will either spit out a match object, or I had the notion of you can have an ID. So yeah, I guess what I'm thinking of here is because the other thing is, if I continue tabbing, it will kind of tab through all the possible things and then go back to the start. So, how do I kind of want to do this? Because in here, we can set some various options, and I guess at this point here, we already have all the possible things that it can be. So maybe if I try that same thing, yeah. So currently we have even, so we don't really have the common lowest, shortest common prefix. Which would be good to. It's kind of interesting because like you can complete in funny ways. Like if I had EE and then go like got EE, and then I did fin in the middle, so I've got E vine, but the cursor is before there. It will, I don't have a setting turned on. It will auto kind of pad out to there, but I think there is a setting there. It won't kind of shove on the extra E. Don't have it on this computer. Yeah. So, and what did that kind of do? So I guess when we go through all these matches, I think we kind of just want to have the match and index, and we could probably just have it plus plus, because I think when we start we set the index to -1, and I think in both cases that we use it so far. So we do this plus plus, and then this should kind of have us the match that we are currently looking at, and I guess this could be matches data, match IDX, and perhaps this it's kind of interesting because we should probably check that this kind of fits in a range that we want. And yeah, it's interesting because the way that I am going about this is, in my case, it would, it might have done it, we can't do. In my case, the shortest one is actually the third option. So like potentially we do want to kind of go through and find the shortest option, and then kind of return to the caller some notion to say that this was the first time, I guess. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. So if match IDX equals -1, it's going to be the first time. Otherwise, what we can do is just do a thing. And so I think the thing we can do is match IDX. So what I kind of want to do is make use of more negative numbers. So I could have something be, we kind of want to find the smallest string, I guess. Yeah, I guess like we just want to kind of go through and find the smallest thing. So what we can do is have something like this, and we can have a int IDX, I guess, and this can just kind of iterate over all of these things. No, that's not quite how I want to do it. I do kind of want to do this. So I kind of want to have shortest, and the shortest is going to be, I don't know, it can start off as -1. Well, really we can start it off as str len of matches data and the first element, and we can just start counting from 1 instead. And so if we could probably get a saved copy of this, so matches data I, and what we can do is actually just make it shortest equal. No, that kind of like makes an assignment. I don't know. The compiler will probably just kind of do it for me. I'm not ready for thinking assembly just at the moment. So if we do this, we kind of also want to say what the IDX is. And this is going to be yeah. And so I'll probably complain about that, but I think this is probably alright. And I mean, I don't know. Because what I kind of want to do is cast that IDX back into an int, but I want to have negative whatever that IDX is, but I think I want to have -1 minus whatever that value is, which this cast can cause an issue if IDX becomes so large that it actually overflows what you would have in an int value, and it itself turns negative, and then when you're casting that into that, it's then a negative and then it's a plus. But that only happens in like insanely long things, and I think we would run out of memory if we actually had something of that capacity. It's in the millions, and so if we had millions of completions, that would probably be that. Right, so I think this this is now kind of signifying that we have done the first thing, and this is the shortest match there is, I guess. It's interesting because I guess this is sorted by Elemento PQRST. It's kind of hard to tell whether something is sorted by so we can have something like so that comes before it normally, and then we can have something like goo as well. And then if we do x, y, z, it should now be completing on the file names in this directory. If I do something like that, now it gets these. And perhaps I will also touch just a x, y, z. Maybe I'll touch that one, but remove that one. And now if I do x, y, z tab, it will pull out to that. So it's alphabetical order. Alright, so do I want to sort it? I guess like the best time to sort is really at the time of adding. Wow, it's kind of interesting with strings. So this do completion. Yeah. So the completions we kind of find out at this point here, and what do? We kind of get everything, and we're at least comparing that. So a good way to sort, if we kind of bring up a little temporary thing. So if we had, I don't know, some random data. In fact, let me kind of just, can we just make some random data? I don't know. What we can do is set 1 to something like that, and then shuffle that list. Yeah. That's not what I wanted to do. So, what happens in here? Really, the best way to sort this list, maybe if I do something smaller, if I'm going to visualize it. The best way to sort this kind of list, that's all right, buddy, is as you get the data. So you read an 8, and then you read a 1, and then you're like, well, hold on, the 1 actually should be before the 8, so I'll do that. And then you read a 3, and then you're like, well, hold on, the 3 should be before the 8, so I'll do that. And then you get a 9, and you're like, cool, that isn't, it should be after the 8. So you kind of by default add to the end of the array, but then as you add something, you check with the element before it, and if it should be before it, you put it before it. But then you also repeat that. So now it's here, and you say, well, should it be before the 8? And you're like, well, yes, it should. And you stop when it is in the right place. And so, I mean, what you may have noticed is this is a sorted list, and you're not going through and doing a secondary sort where, I don't know, if you had this kind of list and you want to sort it, what you would do is you would kind of get it, you might split it in 2, and then you might split each of these lists independently, and that might result in that kind of be split in 2, and then well, this one we can kind of sort, so we can do that, but this one's still maybe a little too big, so maybe we'll split it in 2, and then, well, that's in a good order, so maybe we'll kind of merge these 2 lists together. Well, that should be there maybe, and then here maybe we'll merge these 2 lists together, and so we kind of do that sort as we go. And then we didn't really touch this bottom other half, but the same principle kind of applies. We'll kind of maybe split it in a better way, and we'll kind of split that, and then we'll split this up, and no need to sort. Cool, that looks good. And then here we didn't have to do anything, and then here we kind of merge it through again, and like that kind of will kind of go through, well, where's the right index for that, where's the right index for that, where's the right index for this, and it's you're kind of double handling the data. In fact, you're log in log n handling the data every time you want to sort a list. Is that right? In log n or just log n? Just log n. No, log n would be that, but it will be in log n because you merge it back together, and that's where you get the n. Whereas if you kind of just add as you go, you're only really testing it as you're kind of adding. So you have the memory, but you can kind of bubble things down. So it kind of sounds like a bubble sort, but it's the portion of the bubble sort that you're only really doing the one part of the bubble sort, because every time you do your operation, it leaves it with a sorted list, and adding to the sorted list is actually quite trivial because you just need to find the place it needs to be, and you can start from one end and you just kind of go up or go down. But yeah, I think that's potentially enough rambling for that. So I guess what my thinking is, the best place to do it is maybe do it here. And instead of array add, we have something like sorted array add, and have some kind of function, I guess, to say how we could compare some numbers. Well, compare some things. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting because like I've made this array add. It's my own custom creation, and what we're doing is kind of going through and adding a thing. So this does the add to the end of the array, but I guess we could also have a what define sorted array add, and have an array and a value that we do, and have a sort function, and that would do something. Currently it will do nothing, but probably what it would do is to start with, it would just do an array add of that array and that value, and after it does that array add. Oh, really? This is like, if we could actually do this. I think this, yeah, ensure capacity is just going to abort if we can't do it. So yeah, that kind of makes sense. So what would we do after this array add? We kind of need to know what the sort function is. So maybe I'll just do this sorted array add, and what we can do is kind of think of what some things could look like. So this is, we would probably need to, no, that's fine. I don't know why I'm kind of, actually that's probably that, and then like do that, and then that, yeah. And then this can be, well, there is one, strcmp, and we could even do str, something like that. So this kind of works in this case where we have a CMP, and what that's going to take is it's going to take the things that we kind of have. I wonder if the type system will complain heavily at us. No, I think it's kind of alright, but my thinking is, because of that, it kind of takes away the ability to have a sorted number array, and I kind of want to have that as well. So like we might want to have, I don't know, we have something like this, and add 1 to the mix, and what is the function going to be if we did this? So we don't really have an int CMP, but we could. Maybe we'd call it num CMP for a more conducive thing. And what that can do is just return. Well, we can even maybe even do void. No, so we want it to have int as a return thing, and we'll have num CMP, and maybe I can just remind myself on how. So it's negative if S1 is, so we'll have some numbers, S1 and S2, and I think like maybe this would have to be something like this, and this is just going to return S1 minus S2. Yeah, and like potentially the compiler would kind of get rid of it. It doesn't have every case there. Like I kind of like it to just know if it's a number, and if it's a number, then it does that. Problem is we don't really have numbers like that. Right. So what we want to do now is we kind of want to loop in from the end, but maybe from the end minus, say, 2. So this is going to equal to r dot size. So size has already been incremented from the array add, and we'll just do minus 2. And we want to make, we kind of want to keep doing things while I is greater than equal to 0. This is kind of tricky because we need to have like a error case, a 0 case, I guess. Yeah, we can do some things, and if we just want to I minus all the time, except there because so if I equal to 0, we just want to break. I think that's what we want. Maybe what I want to do is do something like that, and then I is greater than 0. So we're kind of starting one below the end, but in reality that's 2 elements below the end, and what I kind of want to do is have the index have a 1-based index, I guess, and so the actual things that we're pointing at will be I minus 1. So we want to have sort fn something like this. It's kind of annoying. I don't know. I suppose it's kind of alright. So we kind of want to do a sort fn of some things. So we want to do array dot data, and the element we kind of want to look at is I minus 2, 1 to start with. I is greater than equal to 1, really. Well, I is greater than 0, so we don't really need that. But I think I want this to be I is greater than. Well, so if this is 1, then this would work. And this kind of works. Yeah, cool. Well, not that, but something like this. So we have now run our sort function, and like potentially need to do something like this. I don't know. Right. So if we do this, so if ret is less than, if it's negative, really I don't need to store it, and if this whole thing, that whole thing is less than 0, it means that we need to store it. So if S1 is less than S2, So yeah, I think this I actually want to be greater than. If it is greater than 0, then we want to kind of bubble it down. So how do we do that? We kind of want to do r.data, and we just kind of want to swap these elements, and I mean I guess we could make it swap, but I'll just do this. We get 1, and then we minus 1 equals temp, and then we r data I equals r data I minus 1, except in that order. So they'll swap the two things, and then we just continue. But if this was not the case, then we have actually found the most sorted thing that we can do. So we need a few things like that. So if it's out of place, we swap them, and then we decrement and kind of continue. Otherwise, we are sorted, so it's just kind of done. So that is actually sorted array add, and I kind of want to maybe see if that just kind of did something for the ordering of this. Right, so we can't do this because it had some issues. Statement with no effect. That is because we haven't actually done anything. So this is still in the I don't know, just do something like that. But I kind of want to not do anything. So if we did this, maybe if we just do that, so it's going to be something like that, and maybe if I get it from here, right? So here, we actually want to get whatever the type is, which we might not know the type. There's like ways to do swaps, surely. It's kind of annoying. What I could do is actually like kind of make sure that it's got like enough for like one more, and that will just be like kind of my working space. So we can just kind of have that, and then this can be r.data, and it's going to be r.size minus. It's just going to be r.size, and that's going to be our temporary data. And so here, if we like did that, didn't quite get everything, but we can do something like that, and then they'll do the swap using the same kind of thing, but and like this ensure capacity doesn't do anything if we have that. So yeah, we kind of want to maybe do that beforehand, so it like does the allocation right. Cool. So does this make? Yeah. So this makes now. So if we go back here and what was it even? And we got a little heat buffer overflow. So we're doing that, and it's like 104 bytes after something, which makes me wonder if it is not that. And so this is interesting. So right, so what are we? 401 and 401. It's in the same spot. And if I look at 401, it's in this kind of sorted array add. It's kind of alright. So what do I want to do? I want to make sure that there's enough size for an extra thing, and that ensure capacity is just kind of. Let's see. Yeah, I probably should do something similar to this. Wow. I think I just want to do something like that. So it does it after, but if ensure capacity. Oh no, so ensure capacity doesn't actually do any calculations. So I think I do need to do something like this, but with two. Otherwise, we'll just do that. And so we should have an extra one that is legit to do. I don't think that would have changed anything, but let's give it a go. Even. Cool. So that solved that error, and it is in alphabetical order. So that was a kind of handy thing to do. So what I might do is find the other place that we do the this, and this can just be a sorted array. And so if it is sorted, it will just kind of work. And so now this will just magically work for if we do because it crashed before, that kind of doesn't do it. But if I did something like echo H, it does a thing. Now that's interesting. Because I thought so 705 and 705. Yeah, it's doing it in the same place, and it's kind of interesting. Right besides that, so it's kind of annoying because I have done. I mean, it's my own prompt, but I have done macros which kind of make it a little tricky to work things out sometimes. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. That I kind of wonder if so if we do another reset, even, and if we did this and just did something, I don't know. There's lots of L things. Yeah, so I think this is kind of having an issue, but if it is small enough, then it is fine. So what I might do is I kind of want to make sure it works. So like, I don't know, maybe if we did something like sure I got like a bunch. And like maybe this is needed to be like that. I don't know. So if we did that L again, it still crashes out. Yeah, we can't do sorted one there, but this is like definite. That is the username, but where's my matches actually kind of set? Yeah, where is matches? Matches. So it's a thing there. But yeah, seemingly only with right, so the sorted array add, we don't do a sorted array add there. I don't know if that's what is needed, so if we do now, so that didn't like that. It's annoying that C doesn't have like generics or something, because if so, then I would make just an actual function that I could then kind of get a bit more erroring about. So, I mean, one thing I could do is this is just kind of loading one file. So what I could do is actually, so if we copy main.c to main.c.orig, I guess, and if we gcc minus e of app main.c, is that the one? Yeah, so that's the one that it's kind of spat out what it should look like. And so I think here I want to put it out to just temp, and then move that temp to be app.main.c. And then this way, when I just do my program, so now it won't compile, because it's loaded like everything. Cool. So it's just warnings. But is that because? All right. So how do I ignore these warnings? GCC style of line directed. I mean, if it's just a thing, is there like not a is there not just a flag that I can turn it off? Otherwise, I guess what I can do is all of the lines that so we can do something like maybe I minus e, and if it starts with a hash, so we need to do something like that. Yeah, and now if we, yeah, it didn't do that. I thought that would have done the trick. So yeah, that's now no longer got it. Alright, it just took them a bit of time to try. So now if we do this, cool. So that's a bit less of an error. In fact, no errors there, but was some errors here. That's because we turn on all the pedantic and whatnot. Actually, no, like, yeah, so I guess that one doesn't have a thing. So what do we have? Alright, so if we look at 5864, this may fall through. Right, so I'm happy with that though. Alright, so how do I kind of change that? So did it tell me? It was implicit fall through. And do something like this, and then here, no implicit fall through, something like that. Is that what is needed? Yeah, and then here, after all of that, I am hoping that this kind of tells me a bit more. So 5021 and 5019. So 5021. So one happens here and one happens here. I'm not sure it is really that helpful. But what if, crazy little thing, we can do something like, boom, we are doing some indentations and whatnot. And what happens if oh no, that doesn't do a lint. So what I want to do is like, like clang format, is that something I can kind of just run on at main.c? Can you just do it in line? Yeah, cool, so that did a thing. Cool, so now if I do that all again, do that, gets me a better thing. So 3549 and 3539, so 3539, so allocates it here, and then it deallocates it, well, it gets it here. So it's like overriding it here after doing this. So what's happened? We do this, and like the new capacity is, oh, do we never set the new capacity? Oh no, so yeah, and then we do a mem set on that plus. What's this up to? So we do it, right, so we get the size of the first element, which is the size of the structure, or whatever the thing is. We times it by capacity, and we're mem setting that data, which gets reset and is checked not to be null. And then we set it to be null, and we are doing it. This is maybe a little funny. So new capacity minus the current capacity. So we are more by checking this. So this minus that should be doing that, and we're doing it from there, and then we set this to that. It's kind of interesting, and it's trying to write at that point, and I feel like it's just going slightly over. So what I might do is at main dot ridge to main.c and kind of get that original code back. And if we go ensure capacity, so what happens here? We do that, and then we do some weird things here. What happens if I maybe like -1 there? Nah, and this will kind of lose the place that we did it again. Interesting. It's kind of like just in the middle of nowhere. So what have I even done on this? I just added a sorted array, and that's just doing not much. And then all I was trying to do was do this. Would have thought it would have worked, but nah. Seems like there is some issue with I wonder if even commenting out this. Oh no, that kind of doesn't work well. We can kind of do something like this and that, and then do something like that. Cool. So we don't actually do the mem set. Does this, then we do it. Cool. So here it doesn't do the mem set, and you can see there are like a lot of things that it was doing. So it's kind of interesting that this is kind of causing issues. So I might need to kind of revisit that. So it's currently in my thing, but what I can do is fix me investigate memset, because I guess what I was trying to achieve was get the stuff after this, but for now we can kind of get back to how we were. And now if I do something like echo h, and it'll kind of put the two things in sorted. So yeah, I think we could even do echo just on one, and it'll bring out all the users of my system. Cool. So I have done the sorted array add. So these just are sorted now. So I haven't really made any more completion into what happens if we push it once, twice, and like. So what do we do here? I think we don't need to worry about this. I think we just want to, can we do something like that, and can we do something like that? So I think we want to do something like match IDX and get this plus 1 and mod that result with matches. And what do we have? We want size. So that way it will be in the kind of bounds of the array. So if it is exactly a size, it should go to 0. If it is 1 less, if it's 1 more, it will go to 1, etc., etc. So I think in this case here, we probably can do the return the true. We have done something, and we've kind of cycled through. We don't have a thing there. Cool. And so now if we did the L whatever, we have one error case there, but here we can also go H and this is now kind of kicking the road to 2 different places. Or perhaps we can just do something with this. And yeah, I don't know. We have to kind of clear the current prompt, and I think that's something that like other shells might have done better. Like I don't have that. I don't have many shells. But yeah, I think that's something that other shells have done better, because as I'm kind of writing this, what do I kind of want to do? As I'm doing this, I kind of want this to kind of update this prompt. So I mean, Bash does it, but I wonder how Bash actually does it, like whether it redraws just from there and like has a copy of the entire string that it needs redrawing. Like what happens if your command is really, really long and you had something like and you wanted to just have that field, but then you also had other stuff after, and then you go back here and you want to just cycle through those, and it makes me wonder who's looking after all the memory. But yeah, anyhow, I think I haven't really achieved much. Oh, my disk is actually running real low, meaning I need to copy some videos around. But yeah, I've made it so I've kicked the can down the road as to where the exception kind of happens, and then I just need to kind of work out how to kind of redraw things, because yeah, here it kind of assumes that you have already printed off something. So this rec.size is you've already typed something. So I'll have to kind of have a think on that. But I think for now, thanks for watching. Let me know if you enjoy it, and check out my other stuff. And till next time, I'll see ya.